Thanks.
Okay, thank you. So I will talk a little bit of how I found that my science background could become a very wanted skill set for the outside the academia. And so I tried to build a career from ecology, theory, and data, not only in the academia, but also outside it. And so I bring this very alarming statistics that says that almost 80% of the PhD will not become tenure professors. If you do the calculations, how many colleagues of you in the same area are getting a PhD, and how much of how many positions will open for that specific area. So we really don't have this much positions for the numbers of PhD that are being produced. And when you choose to make a PhD and you are at the end of your research, you begin to make these calculations and said, oh, maybe maybe I'm in trouble. So a little bit of my journey that I will talk with you here was the spark how why I choose to be a scientist and a biologist and a statistician, the arsenal, how I build my skills, some crises that I already predict here, and the expansion, how I go outside the academia, and some lessons that I would like to share. At the beginning, I had a very nice childhood. I had I have a grandfather that took me to the farm, and he really showed me the nature. And we are going outside in the forest to pick some woods to make some fire, and he was always explaining me about the nature, about the plants, about the animals, about the rocks. And my grandfather, he cannot read because he has to left school very early because his father died, and so he had to work very very young. And he has a huge knowledge about the nature, even though he doesn't know how to read or how to write. And so he is my inspiration. So why I become a biologist. And then I went to a technical school here in Brazil where I studied chemistry. I was a chemistry technician. And in this school, we had very projects that we were allowed to make. And I was in the project with biology. We work with spiders, and so I really saw that biology was my thing. I really saw that I want to go for this area. And I thought at the time, because I really liked every kind of area, but I thought, well, biology maybe is in the middle of all these areas. And so if I go to the middle, and if I want to go to other areas, at least I am in the middle of the way. And I don't know if you know this comics by the, so they put all of the mathematicians. And now I included also the philosophers. And but I really I was really happy with my choice, because in biology I was capable of really choosing each area, which area I would like to know a little bit more. My love of first sight was with the rotifers. Also in this school that I was doing a technical chemistry, was in a biology class, and I saw this worm crawling on some snail eggs. And so my teacher said, "Oh, this is a rotifer." And I said, "A rotifer?" So I searched and I read about it and said, they're little animals, and oh my god, and I got so excited about this, and I got to read all about them, and I really got excited. And I was maybe I go to study spiders or rotifers, and then I decide to go to study rotifers. So from that moment, I knew that exactly what I was going to study. I just didn't know how I was going to study that. Them. So sometimes a little single moment define entire career. This is very interesting when you ask someone, why do you choose biology? And maybe it's just a tiny fraction, a tiny second that someone says something to you, the teacher says something, you saw something, and you just fall in love for that, and you we will work on that for the whole life. This is very interesting. When I finished my technical course, we had to do an internship. And so my biology teacher sent me to the biology institute where she get her PhD. And I made my internship there. Uh, so I made the internship not only in chemistry because I helped them made some solutions and some quantifications, but also in biology because my supervisor is a my first supervisor was a biologist and a taxonomist. He's first a parasitologist, and also he becomes a taxonomist for Heteroptera, aquatic Heteroptera insects. So I raised some water bugs. I was free to make some rotifers cultures, some paramecium cultures. They also had some marmosets where they made some experiments. And the not so good part that I had to kill a lot of mouses and open them and see the parasites. And this part I didn't like it. So when I really had to do this part, I said, "Oh no, I want to go away." And then I changed my lab for I changed from labs from the parasitology lab to my limnology and plankton ecology lab, where I finally will work with rotifers. Unfortunately, I will always kill all the rotifers because we had to sample them, and so uh, killing animals never left me. And in this first part of my just before I entered the academia, I was involved in research projects with master and PhD students, and I attended some thesis defense. I witnessed some challenges of the publication, so I was very in this area just before I get in the academia. So I was admitted in the undergraduate course in biological sciences, and I was. And I was already in a lab. So the 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 program was very far easier because everything that I learned, I could go to the lab and do some little experiments and get in touch with some different areas. So my second love at first sight was the statistics. I took a statistic course with the undergraduate program in statistics, and I just fell in love. The teacher was a very good teacher, and she worked with biology data. And so when she knew that I was biologist, she said, "Wow, that's so wonderful!" And we had very nice talks, and I just fell in love. In my university, we can not only choose to attend our disciplines, our our obligatory disciplines, but also we can choose disciplines from other courses. And so I was choosing statistics disciplines also to make them. And the more interesting thing is that what the teacher was teaching was directly applied to my work in the lab. So the statistics students, they didn't have this experience, so they just saw that as a mathematics, and they say, oh no, I have to copy and repeat this in the exam, so I will pass. But I saw that I was really solving problems using that math. So I was really happy to put together math and biology. So over my bachelor, my master, PhD, and postdoc, I made more than 20 statistics course, and then I enrolled again on the bachelor's degree in statistics. I was able to get my degree in 2 years because I was already made many several disciplines. And so I felt that statistics made me a better biologist because I can think better, I can model better, I can create and plan better. So this academic journey, my academic journey, from my bachelor in arts, I was my degree is for teacher in biology. Then I went to my master in psychology, PhD in ecology, a postdoc, and I returned to make my bachelor in statistics. Each step wasn't a linear path, and you can see that I was always searching for something that I thought that was interesting, and then I returned to it and said, oh, maybe it was good to get a bachelor degree because when you get a bachelor degree, you can do a lot of things. Official, if you officially, you can write, you can sign some projects and say, "Oh, I think I will. This bachelor degrees will help me professionally." During my PhD, I went to Wageningen University, where I studied with Martin Scheffer and Herbert von Ness, and I just found my niche, and I said, "Oh my God, really? There are biologists that like math," and I was called a theoretician, and this really I was really excited to be called this. I studied 6 months there, and I managed to publish in ecological modeling, which was my dream to publish there, and I was really happy to be in touch, to know this area, to expand my views about this area, and to learn a lot. So this interdisciplinary sport helped me so much to ask ecological questions, to answer them with data, to predict using models, and to communicate across different fields. Because when you know statistics, you can help people from any kind of different areas. And many friends of mine from medicine, from economy, from engineering, they really asked me to help them to make their statistic analysis. And so you get to know many areas because they had to explain to you the areas, and I really like that to hear they explaining their project and to think how to produce a model to resolve to answer the questions that they were trying to. So I saw that a science was can be was could be seen as a service. During my statistics degree, I joined a junior consulting company that the students, they create this company, and they help all the students from the university to analyze their data. And when I got there, I quickly become the president of the company because I already had so much experience defining the 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 analysis that should be done. And this really opened my mind because in biology we didn't talk so much about money, about career, about life outside academia. In biology, especially here in Brazil, it seems like a philosophy, like, you are a biologist, you hug trees and you always go for the pandas and for the whales, and was not seen as a professional, and a professional that needs money to live. And the statistics taught me the otherwise. They taught me you are a professionalist, and so you had to charge your work. You had to charge for the knowledge that you have. And so I really thought, yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, I really took some time to have this knowledge, and I really had to to earn money, because this is very this is the normal thing to do. But in biology, it seems like if you are earning money using biology, you are an evil biologist. You are very you only think about money and not on the planetary, and this is bullshit. I really changed my mind in relation to this. So when I left when I earned my degree in statistics, I opened a company. I was the only one in this company. Was a individual company. In Brazil, we call this, there is a specific company that it was made from one individual. And so I began to made statistical analysis and earn money through this project. And then I closed this company, and together with my with three colleagues of mine that also loved statistics, we opened another company. Now this one has a lot of it's a society, so it's called Biometrica, from the biometrics. And so we work with consulting and environmental services. So these skills that we developed and we already have, and maybe we do not perceive these, because we developed a lot of planning skills, replication skills, how to develop a very good experimental design, how to do data analysis, how to work with Excel, with R, how to model, how to use softwares, the critical thinking. This value that I got from the experiment, it really makes sense. So it's not because I made it, I will believe it. No, but I really had to do it again to know if this is correct or no, or not. So you are every time criticizing yourself. The scientific communication, you are forced to communicate to other people from different areas. The problem solving, of course, you have a lot of questions to answer, but you have to choose some questions and how to plan an experiment to answer that question. So we walk through small steps, because if you try to answer everything, you will answer nothing. And also literature review, to ask other people, other professionals, other scientists that know more than you in different areas, and to collaborate with them to create a nice answer for your question. So scientific training is not just for academia, even though when we automatically think that you think, oh, I'm doing PhD, I'm doing master and PhD to become a teacher, to become a professor, to become to get a position in the university. But this is not the case. This is really not the case. You saw that just 10-20% of the PhD will become tenure professors. But the scientific training is just such a powerful problem-solving toolkit that the positions outside the academia wanting, they're really wanting professionals that have these skills. And just explain a little bit more about this math that doesn't add up. So every year we are graduating thousands of PhD, but we have few academic positions. And some of these thoughts come to your mind, that I spent years of my life and I failed. Like I made I attend some like, exams for the teachers, the teacher's position, the professor position here in the universities in Brazil. Uh, the process has to be for everyone. So you open a position, you have to say to the whole country that this position is open, and many students come to the place to make the exams. There is the written exams, there is the the presenting exam, and they look also on your curriculum. So it has normally three steps: this rating exam, uh, a presentation, and the curriculum. And of course, it's very difficult to get a position because most of these positions, there are thousands of students of PhD, many professors that are already professors in all the universities, but far from the capitals of the cities, and they want to move to the capital of the, because I live here in Belo Horizonte, which is the capital of Minas Gerais, and we have some universities in the countryside of our state. And so some lecturers, they really want to go to Belo Horizonte, and so they attend these exams, and normally they pass because they had a lot of experience. And so you said, oh, and now I'll have to go to the countryside of the state, and this is some uh, choices that we have to make. And also the family pressure, when they say, when will you stop studying and finally get a real job? Because here in Brazil, we are not researchers are not seen as professionals. We are seen as students. So if you are going to the university, you are not going to work. You are going to study. And my 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 grandparents, my parents said, "Oh, Diego liked so much to study because he never stopped studying." And I'm 40 years. Of course, I stopped and now I'm working, but it's difficult to explain to them what I really do. And this is not a Brazilian problem; it's also a worldwide problem. There is some papers on that. They really uh, saw that this paper here, too many PhD graduates for too many academic jobs. They concluded that only 12.8% of PhD graduates attain academic position in the USA. There is this other one, the postdoc Q. We find that only about 70% of postdocs ultimately land tenure track positions. And they also quantify how long does they take to get these positions. And in average is about 3 to 4 years in the postdoc position to get a tenure uh, position in one university. And as I said, in Brazil, research is still not seen as a professionals, and most of the time we do not think about retirement. We do not think about our own health when we begin to get old, and many friends and colleagues of mine, when they graduated in engineering, in medicine, they went directly to the workforce. So they got a job. This job had you had to pay for the retirement. You have to plan for future positions. And so today I have friends that are almost getting retired, and on the other side, I never uh, pay anything for my retirement. And when you get old, you begin to see that you lost this this part because no one told you that it was important for you to think in the early times about your elderly times. So many researchers. Sorry, my Sorry. Many researchers, when they get in the academia, it will be they will get in about their 30s, 35 years. It was the first job that the society really sees as a job. Oh, you are a professor, a professor in the university, so now you have a job, and now you are beginning to think about your retirement, and you are already uh, old to think about that. So we all also think that we lost a lot of time, and we begin to think about our retirement very late in our career. So that after this crisis, what if the failure was actually a redirection? So I this was very into my mind. I was very sad and think that I was a failure. But at the same time, during the statistics course, I saw that I could help uh, other people outside academia, inside of course, but outside academia, and I also could take my knowledge outside the academia. I open a YouTube channel where I teach some basic uh, uh, concepts in math and statistics. I volunteer teaching on the university because I was also a postdoc, so I can volunteer teaching on the postdoc a postdoc level. So I teach statistics. I teach multivariate statistics, uh, 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 experiments design, and many other disciplines. And when you teach, it was far more easy to understand. So it's very good when you teach something because you really uh, make that get into your head and become more clear for you. So teaching is a very thing that I it's a nice tip that everyone should teach their own area, so you get a more clear view of your own area. So I share this lesson. Share what you know. The opportunity will find you. And the companies outside the academia, here in Brazil, we have companies that they are they do environmental analysis, and they collect data. They produce reports for the environmental impact, and many of these companies knew about me, and they were very unhappy with the statistical analysis that was being made by them, and so they contract me for doing the statistical analysis, and then I began to be known in the field as the biologist who knows statistics. So I I know the biology, I know what has to be done, and I know the statistics. I know how to model, how to analyze, how to plan, and so this helped me so much to get in touch with this company and to be invited to participate in many projects. So my vision expanded. I work with veterinary sciences. They are testing new medicines for cows, for dogs. In oncology, in hospitals, I also try to estimate the median survival for the oncologist patients. In ecology, of course, when I was enrolled in this environmental impact programs to analyze this data. Of course, data science and many others area, economy, teaching, engineering, architectures, and so on. In 2015 and 2019, we had two catastrophic dam collapses here state, Minas Gerais. Minas Gerais, if you translate, is general mines. Is because our state has the quadrangle, the iron quadrangle, is the largest deposit of iron on the world. So we had a lot of mines here. So that our state is called general mines. And unfortunately, we had a lot of uh, dams that hold these tailings, these mining tailings, and two of them released these tailings, killed many people, and of course create a very large environmental problem because of this mud that fell on the river and reached the ocean. I had the opportunity to participate in at least 3 projects trying to quantify the environmental impact and to separate it from the chronic degradation. So this is when my skill set was really being uh, defied. When you say, wow, now is the time that I have to use this knowledge to try to solve some problem, because there is no way, there is no clear methodology to separate the chronic environment from the acute environment impact. And all these watersheds that were impacted, they were chronically impacted by sewage, domestic sewage, industrial sewage, erosion, and many other impacts. So these watersheds, they were not preserved. They were already impacted. And so when the mud comes, the impact was the mud almost reset the whole ecosystem. And when the government are going to the company to say you have to pay for the impact that happened there, the company said, but this watershed was already impacted, and you have to separate the part that I am responsible from the part that I'm not responsible. And this was a very struggle to really define and quantify how much the company will have to pay, how much it will have to repair. Some of the knowledge that I used was the ones that I presented to you, use the general additive models, where we try to uh, partitionate, to separate the long-term, the longitudinal, the spatial longitudinal effect, the seasonal effect between months, the long-term effect. So we made a decomposition of this time series, and also try to understand the effect of the specific effect of the entrance of the mud. And so we try to create some models to extract this data and to model this nonlinear relation. And it was very nice. We were very happy with the results, because we could separate the chronic knowledge, the chronic noise from the acute noise. Here you can see that we could model the longitudinal, the plot on the left. On the x-axis is the distance from the entrance of the mud, which is this straight line, this black straight line, and the increase the distance is the river. So we have the longitudinal gradient, and you can see that a very strong line here in red. This was our raining period, and just after the mud was released. And so we can see a very strong spike just after the entrance of the mud. So this spike was decreasing along the river, and we could see how this longitudinal gradient changes during years, how the river was trying to recover from this impact. We could also see how the seasonality of these parameters changed through time, and so we could see how the river, how was the dynamic of the river before the impact, and how it was after, just after the impact. So we managed to say, well, this part is due to the entrance of the mud, and this part is a chronic impact that the watershed already had. So I just felt useful. I I did not felt a failure anymore because I discovered a vast field of work that exists outside the academia, and how much my view, my knowledge could help to solve these problems. And this is also seen as a worldwide solution. There is a paper that says that critical thinking is a skill set that unifies the views of the employees working on industry and PhD students, and also a critical thinking that uh, people on the industry wanting from us, because they really need this critical thinking and planning skills for to solve their problems. So where I am today, I'm still a statistical consulting. I have this company where I analyze data from for people for PhD, masters, and also for other companies. I'm an active researcher. I'm also I'm always linked to my lab through a PhD scholarship, and I also help to them to analyze their data, and so collect data. And I become a secretary of the Regional Biology Council. So I was helping shaping the policy and advocating for the my profession, the biologist. And it's a very political thing and very bureaucratic. So it's not so exciting, such as statistics and biology. But I thought that it was important, and I really had to bring my knowledge to help my 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 colleagues. So some lessons and some tips that I would like to share for you was, when you are going to choose your master or your PhD, you normally choose by a question, by a community that you'd like to to study. But uh, I really say try to define a skill set that you want to develop. Oh, I want to develop coding. I want to develop taxonomy. I want to be uh, to work with a GAS, to satellite data. I'd like to uh, whatever you want. You want to be a profession known by which skill set? Oh, this is biology that knows how to engineer some structure. You are a biologist that know how to code. You are a biologist that know how to you understood. So because probably you never have again 2, 3, or 4 years to dedicate entirely to develop that skill. So choose first the skill you want to develop, and then decide your project where you will try to develop this. You need to develop this skill. Curiosity is a virtue, of course, but I think this is very common. If you are a researcher, normally you are very curious. Interdisciplinary is a superpower. When you learn to communicate with other fields, it's the most thing. Is the most important thing also to make connections and to create a net, and so you increase also the opportunities to be known and to be called to participate in other projects. Uh, Go shopping, go hiking, go running, go swimming, go visit your parents, your friends, go drinking, go to parties. We really have to develop our here we call ocio. It's idleness when you just contemplate things and you do not have to be thinking in solving some problems. It's very important to our brain to reconnect. We also have to sleep. So this is very interesting. This is a very productive tip for us. Go to therapy, because master's PhD is not a very light thing to do. This is the pressure is so high, and many students they are outside the country. They are talking in other language. They are with people with very different cultures, and this is a very hard for our brain. So it's very important to search for some therapy. I really encourage you to search for to do therapy on your own mother language, because I think is when we can express better our feelings. So it's not a luxury, and there is many projects that try to help students for free with this therapy that you can find on Google. And so this is what I would like to share for you. So think like a scientist. So is the competitive advantage. Whatever decisions depend on evidence. And I really hope that I have helped someone. Thank you.